You succeeded in your first mission. You tracked down Daragast and returned to the Resistance headquarters. After coming back, you enjoyed some well-deserved time off. Now, both you and Raymond are eagerly awaiting for the warrior bard's arrival. Finally, on a sunny morning, Daragast reaches the village. You can't take your eyes off of him. Despite being a middle-aged man, you find him charming, and his clothes still reveal a toned body, ready for action. You decide to make the first move. About time you got here,
Had any doubts?
he replies, half smiling. No, and neither did Raymond.
Good. Would you take me to him?
Of course. You smile back at him, but Daragast evokes conflicting emotions within you. While his presence is reassuring, you can feel how dangerous he could be. Part of you has trouble being at ease around him. You escort Daragast to the largest tent in the village. Inside, a handful of men whisper as they study a map laid out upon the table. As you step in, one of them raises his head, crossing his gaze with the bard.
Raymond.
Says Daragast, bowing.
Dargast.
It's the only word he says, and he lets it out as a sigh. You two must have many things to discuss. It would be better leaving you alone. You take your leave as a sign of respect. A nod from the wizard dismisses all the other men who follow you outside. Nobody leaves the surroundings, though. Raymond will be calling for you shortly. Many crucial decisions are to be made, and you will need to be there. As expected, Raymond summons you shortly after. You don't all go back inside. Just two wizards, a warrior, and yourself. You are the Resistance's advisors, and as such, take part in every meeting. As you sit, Raymond starts talking with the authority he deserves, directly addressing Daragast.
We need your help. Your presence here restores our souls, but it's not just that. You could help us find new allies to plan an offensive strike against Leon. Your opinion and your support are pivotal to us.
Raymond is desperate. He has no idea how to proceed. He can't figure out how to stop his former student.
You're talking to a man who can't do anything more than brandish a rapier against common enemies. Ghosts of the past are a completely different story. That sylph Ancoran is really good. She could certainly do better than me.
Your reaction to the unexpected praise is an ill-concealed sneer.
Ancoran's abilities indeed make her a precious asset, but in a different way. Each one of us is essential to the cause. As you accepted our summons, well, I believe you might want to help us.
Raymond replies.
Of course. Choosing where to start from is a challenge. Only 3 people might help us: an assassin, a bard, and a former outlaw. You already know 2 of them.
We'll need the help and experience of all 3.
The wizard replies.
Perfect. I'll leave first thing tomorrow morning.
It looks like the time has already come for Daragast, your new ally, to make some choices that will impact the Resistance's future. You could potentially intervene to try and find out a bit more about the 3 men the bard will try to recruit.
The bard's name is Balgol Oriar. He is a Taboshi who can gather information in unusual places, often with equally unlikely methods. He travels the world on behalf of his sovereign. The assassin is Ulist Orantor, a dear friend of mine. We were both mercenaries, and he was with me when I fought Triumvar Lotanor. We protected Leon together. And as for the outlaw, I'm actually surprised he hasn't already joined your cause. His name is Karkas. He's a big guy and a natural-born fighter, maybe even one of the best in the whole world.
None of these names mean anything to you. You'd like to help Daragast make his decision, but because you can't be of any assistance to him, you wait for him to decide on his own, instead of unhelpfully stepping in. I met him in Akma. He's the one who told me where I could find you.
Where did you see him?
Daragast asks you, surprised. In Akma's jail, he was playing a beautiful silver lyre. As you mention the instrument, the bard's face lights up.
It's been several days. Do you know how he ended up in there?
He asks, worried. I have no idea, but he was quite calm. I don't think it was anything serious. Dargast is worried for his friend, and you try to reassure him, lightening the mood.
I hope not.
Dargast sighs.
I'll leave tomorrow. I just need a good horse and some food for the journey.
You'll also get something else.
Raymond adds, after silently watching your exchange. As he catches everyone's attention, you wonder what he has in store. Raymond heads to a large wooden ottoman you hadn't noticed. Carefully, he takes a key hanging from his neck that had been hidden under his clothes. He turns it in the lock and opens the lid. From within, he takes a bundle of rolled fabric, long and thin. Raymond lays the package on the table. Everyone's eyes are attracted to it, even those who just stand there without saying a word.
It looks like a sword,
Whispers the warrior.
How insightful!
Replies one of the wizards caustically. You let the three taunt each other. They're just innocent jibes. However, as Raymond unties the bundle, a beautiful rapier is revealed, and everyone goes silent. 4 differently colored gems decorate the hilt. The first one is brown, representing the power of earth. The others are red, for fire, blue, recalling the strength of water, and finally, a colorless jewel embodies the power of air. The 4 magic stones protect the sword's bearer, but they may do much more. You've heard of the rapier many times, but you never thought you'd see it with your own 2 eyes.
The Sword of Ruin.
Dargast murmurs.
Precisely.
Replies Raymond. Everyone is quiet, dumbfounded, even daunted. You can't speak either. Your tongue feels as if it's stuck to your palate. That weapon could be extremely dangerous in the wrong hands, and you had no idea Raymond had it. He's entrusting it to Dargast, and you wonder how it could play out.
How did you get it?
Questions the bard.
I seized it after the destruction of the Tower of Balinor. It's a long story, and there's no time now. Just know that I got lucky, and that this is our only hope against Leon. Today, like many years ago, it's up to you to carry it.
Dargast reaches out with a hand, accepting the rapier, and straps it to his side. The meeting proceeds, and you update the newest member on the Resistance's situation. Finally, as everyone is leaving, you offer to take Dargast to his tent. You've been attracted to him since your first encounter, which is something you've never experienced before. You don't care that he's not in his prime. He's fascinating, and his experience is as precious as youth. You're torn. You'd like to be bold, but you're afraid to get burnt by a man who is just about to leave. Bold. Cautious.